I'm sorry. I just have a technical difficulty. I shrunk my agenda. The Jinx Board of Adjustment February 11th meeting is called to order at 6:13 p.m. Brandon, would you call the roll?
Eric Inyart.
Present.
Paul Greek.
Here.
Ricky Patel.
Here.
Gina Wilson.
Here.
Sherry Keithley.
Here. Okay. I'm sorry. I need bigger. The meeting is being live streamed on the City of Jinx YouTube channel. And if you, I can't read it. Let's go this way. That's better. Okay, so have we would you excuse me? Do the board members need a few minutes to review the minutes from January? Or have you read the minutes?
Read them.
Read them.
Any changes?
I move to approve them as submitted.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Brandon?
Eric Inyart.
Yes.
Paul Greek.
Yes.
Ricky Patel.
Yes.
Gina Wilson.
Yes.
Sherry Keithley.
Yes. Okay. This evening's business is JBOA 21-435, a request by Bell Land Use LLC for approval of a special exception to allow for a 1,200 square foot accessory building in the side yard of an RS1 zone district. General location is 13001 South 28th Place East. Can we get the staff report?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is a request for a special exception, as you just stated, for an accessory building up to being 1,200 square feet, and we did ask for the side yard. I spoke with your board member Eric Enyart offline earlier this week, and we both agreed that there's a lot of ambiguity in the code regarding if it actually is in a side yard. I will let you all determine if you believe it is. It probably and technically is not in the side yard, but we still need a special exception for the 1,200 square feet. So this lot is located at 13001 South 28th Place, and they want to build a 30 by 40 accessory structure. The building, according to the code in section 240.f, you can have a 600 square foot accessory building in an RS district. And if you want to go beyond that 600 square feet, you have to go to the Board of Adjustment for a special exception. The building cannot exceed 1,200 and it cannot exceed 20% of the area of the rear yard. And in both of these cases, the applicant is in compliance with the request for the special exception. The proposed garage is about a 30 by 40, meeting the first requirement, and the rear yard easily surpasses the required 6,000 square feet. If you look on the following page, the intended use is a garage. It's part of Fraser Lake Estates, Lot 2, Block 2. They have about 1.32 acres. It is not in the floodplain. On that page, on page 4, it kind of shows an aerial view of the lot. It's on that corner there. And if we keep going, on page 5, it says criteria for consideration. A detached accessory building shall not be located in the front or side yard or encroach upon a minimum building setback line, but this limitation shall not apply to carports. The total area of the rear yard is larger than 6,000 square feet, and it meets the minimum requirement of being 1,200 square feet. Staff comments, of course, we're stating the obvious that they will have to comply with any permitting and inspection processes with the city of Jinx. And then the recommendation is to grant a special exception to allow for an accessory building up 1,200 total square feet. And I will leave it up to you all to determine if it is in the side yard, and we'll make that part of the official minutes if you do agree that it is in the side yard. I tend to agree with Eric that it is not in the side yard and no special exception is required. Also, I would say on that note that that's some of the detailed language moving forward in the Unified Development Ordinance that we would like to see clarified, along with exhibits that would support the actual text. On page 6 of the 7 pages, you're going to see the house as it sits, and it kind of faces the cul-de-sac, which is the northwest corner, and that side yard is down on the, or sorry, not the side yard, the accessory building is you're looking at the actual exhibit on page 6, the accessory building is to the right. The last exhibit is the actual legal notice and the map. If you have any questions, I will be happy to try and answer them for you at this time.
What's the composition of the exterior?
The materials
Right.
has a brick wainscot and a board and batten with a metal roof, and I believe that matches the exterior of the home.
Okay.
Have you had any other residents contact the city?
No, sir, there have been no calls to myself or to Brandon, no emails.
Okay. Do you have any questions for staff? I do not. Mr. Robert Bell is the applicant on this case. He is available if you have any questions for him.
Hi, board. I was looking forward to seeing you in person tonight. So, we'll get along with it this way. So, the only thing I would add to what, and I agree with what Marseille has said about the side yard. We put that in there in case there was a variance that you guys thought you needed. I also believe that it was in the rear yard. The purpose of having that building on the east side of that house is it interacts better with the garage there. It also hides that building. This is a large lot that goes all the way down to 131st Street, and having it on the east side of the house makes it to where it's not the prevalent thing that you see when you drive down 131st. This is an $850,000 house that it's being associated with, and they would prefer that house to be visible from the section line road. The other thing that's important in there is that almost immediately across the street from this is a existing 2,500 square foot agricultural building that was remained in that development and was the original barn structure on that property. And some of the siding on the building is designed to match and tie into that existing large accessory structure that is already on that property. And it really kind of ties it all together into that area and makes it really copacetic at that point. So I think that the applicant, of course, when you're talking about this size of a structure, home structure, and value, that their intent is to make all that match and make it in a quality setting. So we appreciate staff's support. We appreciate your support, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay.
Chair Keithley, this is Eric. And
Yes, Eric.
I do have a question for the applicant. Robert, I did notice this is a PUD, and I got a copy of the plat. I looked through it myself. I didn't notice anything in the PUD portion of the covenants that would speak to this. There is a private covenant that says outbuildings are to be approved by the architectural committee, and there was another related provision of it matching the primary structure. Do you know if the owner has reached out to the architectural committee?
The president of the architectural committee is the one building the building. Just to let you know. And we considered doing a modification to the PUD to allow these type of structures on the parcels that were acre in size or greater. And then we determined that we thought that was a negative for the community. It would be better that these get reviewed, but there's not very many lots in that subdivision that meet that criteria anyway. 5 or 6 maybe at the most. So we just thought that it would be better to leave it alone and let it have to go through the special exception process if they wanted a building bigger than 600 square feet.
Thank you.
Well, when I look at, this is Sherry, when I look at the drawing that indicates the concrete drive on page 6, if you look at it, it does look like it's in the backyard. It's to the side of the house, but it's in the backyard.
It really is relevant to how the house, they set the house right on the cul-de-sac and they put it at an angle.
Yeah.
And that's really what makes it look like it's side yard. But I agree with Eric, and I agree with Marseille. I actually thought it was the rear yard to start with, and we just put that the information that was I just put a one line is if you think this is side yard, then we'd request a variance also. But I don't think that's necessary, and I agree with the staff.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. This is Eric again. I was looking at the definitions in the zoning code, and as Marseille pointed out, we have an opportunity with the UDO being developed to rectify some of the issues, but the definitions of rear, side, and front yards are not mutually exclusive, and it requires interpretation. But I find it persuasive that all of the proposed accessory structure is fully behind the rearmost corner of the dwelling, which I would think is the rear yard. Even if it does technically, if the code will allow for overlapping of a rear and a side, the zoning code is very clear in that it is permitted in the rear yard. So I'm in favor of recognizing it as a valid use of a special exception to allow it where it is located on the site plan.
Does anyone else have any questions for Robert Bell or the staff? Marseille? I guess not. And since they are just the public Do they have a way to converse with us if they're on the YouTube channel?
No, they were, that is why Marseille is at City Hall. If they wanted to make any comments, they were told to go there. For this
Okay,
meeting.
so therefore, we don't have anyone that wishes to speak in favor of the applicant?
There is no one present for the record. I am here alone.
Okay. And since there is no one to speak from the floor at this time, is there anyone that would be interested in making a motion?
This is Eric. I'll make a motion to approve per staff recommendation, finding that it does qualify under the zoning code for the special exception.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Brandon?
Eric Inyard,
Yes.
Paul Greek,
Yes.
Ricky Patel,
Yes.
Gina Wilson,
Yes.
Sherry Keeley.
Yes. Robert, the board has approved the application and you know to get with the city for further contact.
Thank you, everybody, and I hope I have another application soon. We can all meet and I can see y'all.
All right, Robert.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any old business? Is there any new business for the board? Okay. Therefore, I am going to adjourn the meeting at 6:31. And thank you for all of you do. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you very much.